Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome, 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 Smart Money Sisters. Welcome. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Whenever you are viewing this live, I thank you for joining me today. Today, we're going to talk about how to change your budget in a financial emergency, because here's the deal. Your budget is basically a plan of action, but like any plan, it should be adaptable to change when circumstances come up, when the circumstances change. And so when an emergency happens, it's important to have a plan for your plan, right? What are you going to do with your plan during an emergency? So today we're going to talk about how to change your budget in a financial emergency. For those of you who don't know me, hi, I'm Tisha D. Colston, financial influencer for women, and I show women how to partner with God so that she can create a life she loves to live, so that she can achieve financial freedom, so that she can create a life that she loves to live. So I facilitate growth naturally and spiritually around money. I believe money is a spiritual activity. So we tear down strongholds and wrong money mindsets, give you the tools and resources that you need to make, manage, and multiply money. So you can find me on the web at tishadcolston.com, and then keep coming back for weekly blog content. All of my social media, I'm on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Just search for Tisha D. Colston. All right. So again, today's lunch and learn topic is how to change your budget in a financial emergency. One thing that COVID-19 pandemic has created, and that is financial hardships for many, many people. So maybe you've lost your job, or you had to take a temporary pay cut. Or your business isn't doing very well during this pandemic season. Perhaps you just want to cut expenses to maybe conserve your cash, because you're just not certain as to what is going on and how long this thing is going to be extended and all this, that, and the other. But an emergency is an emergency situation. You know, circumstances is just circumstances. This is the season of circumstances that we are in. Hi, Teresa. So regardless for the reasons for your concerns, you have the power to stabilize your financial future. And the way that you can do that is by revisiting your budget, considering what changes you need to make in order to protect your money. Are you coping, or are you preparing for the financial emergency? So we're going to talk about some more about, how to do that. How do you rewrite it? I'm going to show you some ways, some ways that you can do that. So the first way I have is for you to tighten it up. Tighten up your budget during or ahead of a financial emergency. Re-examine how you're spending your money. I don't know about you, but I've had to take a look at how am I spending my money. No matter whether you're budgeting for yourself or you're budgeting for your family, take a look at how you are spending it. Make sure that you have enough to cover the basics. Like, you should have enough. You should be prioritizing, right? Prioritizing your basics. So I'm thinking of an example like, you pay your light bill, but your rent's not paid. So you can't pay your how am I trying to say it? You have to have a place to stay in order to have lights. So your priority must be your rent, right? You can't buy food if you have no place to put it. So you have to prioritize your rent above all things. So learn how to prioritize your housing, your food, your medications, and your utilities to help you to squeeze the most out of your budget with what is left. So with what is left, you can do different things. Use coupons, use coupon apps. Listen, you got Ebates, you got Rakuten, however that, remember the commercial Rakuten, whatever that is that will help you get discounts on the things that you need. Couponing is very important in this season and in this time. So this is where you're going to need to learn how to do that. Retail Me Not, all of those places that will help you or help to provide those discounts, right? During this time when you spending money. You could ask your landlord for a break on the rent. Maybe if it's a corporation, you just never know, because everyone's in this situation. Listen, closed mouths don't get fed. Don't be disappointed if, they say no, but at least So if you're really having that kind of financial struggle, it doesn't hurt to ask. Contact your mortgage company. They may have emergency assistance like mortgage forbearance. Listen, I have had to have mortgage forbearance, and it drew out so long. By the time they gave me the forbearance, I didn't really need it anymore. It went over a year before it was actually approved. It was just ridiculous. I say the Lord was on my side, and he was biding time for me. So emergency happens and they come up. So contact your mortgage companies, see what kind of forbearance processes that they have. Reach out to the utility companies and see what kind of assistance that they have for helping you to pay your utilities. A lot of times, they can make one consistent payment over a certain amount of time. They have over like a year, you'll pay the same payment instead of the fluctuations in your bills. They have resources and tools because they don't want to cut you off either. Okay. Especially as it depends on the climate of area that you live in. If it's 120 degrees outside, they're not trying to cut your electricity because you have to have AC. If you're in the dead of winter, we know that utility companies will work with us because they do not want you to be in your home and be cold and doing these other things that we do that causes deaths, like heat up with propane heaters and all this, all this other stuff that happens. So work with your utility companies because they'll be able to provide you, at least point you in the right direction. I know I haven't seen it out here in North Carolina, but in Seattle, where I was just before here, it would have, did you want to donate to those for assistance? And so they had a plan for people who needed assistance to help them with their bills. So reach out to utility companies. Also, ask yourself a couple questions, boo. Listen, I've been in situations and I have had to make some changes. So can you get by without the cable TV? Do you need it? Can you just live with the Wi-Fi service? Can you just live with the phone service, right? And forget the Wi-Fi for now. Put it all on pause until you are out of that financial situation. A family member of mine, they stopped their garbage service. So every month you had to pay for garbage. They were trying to get somewhere financially. They stopped their garbage service. They took their garbage. And I'm not saying that you have to do this, but it's just, how bad do you want it? And they took their garbage down to the dump every month when they needed to do that. And it was more cost effective for the dump trip rather than it was for Waste Management to come out and pick it up. So these are the things that you do. Are you paying for mobile apps that you don't use? Do you really need those shoes? Like, I have to evaluate when I go on Amazon.com, do I really need that? Like, I put off buying ink, y'all. And I was like, Tisha, you really need the ink. So I need some ink. I need 2 documents I have to print out. And then when I went to go print it out, they didn't have the ink or to go buy it. But I did find it. So amen. It just wasn't the XL, which is what I like to get because it gives you more ink in it. But so, can you cancel a trip that's coming up? What can you do? Can you work out at home instead of going to your gym? Could you cook instead of going out to eat? These are things that we must do in order to make adjustments to our budgets, either before an emergency or when one happens, so that we can stay, financially fit during those times. The second thing, look at how are you going to cover your debt. So in a financial emergency, you want to stay on top of your debt as much as you can, because you don't want to get behind on stuff and then you have to pay that, and then it affects your credit and things like that. So one way to keep up on your credit cards is to prioritize your debt. So you've got two methods to prioritize your debt. You got the avalanche method, or you have the snowball method. Either one might work for you, but the avalanche method can save you money because it targets the credit card bills with the highest interest rate first. But the snowball method could be best for you if you're just hoping to reduce the number of bills that you have to pay every month. So we'll talk more about the difference between those two methods, but they can help you depending on your financial situation. So you want to investigate those and help you to chip away at your debt, stay on top of it, so your credit can stay in good, or you can stay in good financial standing in your credit, because your credit's really important. 3, think twice about your credit card purchases. Okay. So listen, they say cash is king, right? Cash is king during a financial emergency. As we saw, we got a coin shortage, right? And so right now, cash is king. So it costs nothing when you have money in your checking account, right? So think about your credit card purchases. Do you really need that? Because what is it going to do, to your credit? If you have rewards or cashbacks, can you use those, right? Can you use credit cards that have those so that they build up and you can use those in financial emergency times? It might be just best to minimize your credit card usage. When you're riding out a financial storm, you don't want to add to the storm, right? So you want to make sure to let, how tempting it may be. Listen, I used to be queen of charge it. And I got it from my dad. My dad used to go, charge it. We all knew. So we get up to the cash register, back in my day, because I'm a little older. And so back in my day, when credit cards first came out, yes, when credit cards first came out, it was this thing to have a credit card. Now, not so much. We just, listen, for me now, it's like, it's a strategy that I'm using, not necessarily I need to use that. So it can be dangerous, though, for folks when you find yourself in a financial emergency. So be careful when you say charge it, even on necessities. Like, you may think that it's okay to go and charge the bread because you need the bread, but I would say, can you do without? Because it's the little saying says, pay me now or pay me later. So you'll have to pay it later, and you'll have to pay more than $2, $3 for some bread, because the interest will have added on to that. And who knows if you can afford it coming up. So, hey, Sister Harris. So be mindful. Think twice about your credit card purchases when you're in the midst of a financial situation. Also, check into credit card assistance if you already have credit cards. Remember that lenders are willing to work with you, but they can't work with you if you don't talk to them. So call them up if you're running into problems making your credit card payments, so that it doesn't impact your credit history. You stay within good standings with them, and you develop a plan that's workable for you and for them. So make sure to contact your credit card company and see what they can help you with. Also, listen, I ain't too proud. Go explore government help, okay? I know people that have been in a financial situation, and you have a child, let's say, and they're, a year, they're a baby, and you don't want to investigate WIC because you're too proud. Like, I never understood that. I have been on WIC. I done got the stamps, the card, whatever you want to call it. Listen, that's what the services are there for, so that when you are in a financial situation, you will have resources. That's what it was originally designed for. It wasn't designed for us to be, lifetime partners with the government. It was designed so that when we had financial situations, that we could recoup those financial situations. And so you have programs like that will help you during the time of need. So explore the government help and see what help they have for you. Okay. What if you don't have a budget? Because this is all about, how do you adjust your budget? What if you don't have a budget? Well, we talked about how to adjust your budget during financial emergencies. But if you don't already have a budget, what can you do? Listen, we talked about in the last one about when is a good time to start a budget. I want to reiterate that the time is now. So if you don't have a budget, then start now. Look at your finances, pull up a spreadsheet. Don't like paper? Get an app, right? There's tons of apps online. Listen, I have budgeting books, okay? I have budgeting books. Go to tishadcolston.com. And if the links aren't there, I will be putting them up. I need to go check because I need to make it clearer that it's there. But now that I remember, I need to put that on my board up here. But check out my budgeting books. Check out anybody's budgeting book to help you create a simple, adjustable monthly budget that you can live with and that can help you to weather a financial crisis. The thing about a budget, the thing about a spending plan is that it should be fluid. It can be adjustable so that it can weather the storms, and then you can adjust it once you get out of the storm. But you'll be better prepared when you know what's coming in, when you know what's going out, when you write it down. There's something about pen on paper that helps you to really solidify with your financial picture in your mind. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed today's talk, lunch, and learn. And so if you really enjoyed this, share this out with your sister girls. Have them come on into Smart Money Sisters, because here's where we partner with God to help us to manage our finances. So the last point is, it wasn't really the last point, but I just thought of it. Talk to God. He has the answers. Lord, how do I prepare for this financial crisis, right? Because we're not exempt from financial crisis, okay? So how do I prepare? How do I prepare either when I'm in one or ahead of time? Because God has the answer. So until we meet again, the Lord bless you and the Lord keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you, be gracious unto you. The Lord turn his face towards you and give you peace. That's it for now. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.